IgniteU Alumni panel discussion. We're sitting here with a few alumni from all different years, and the goal for today's conversation is to get their perspectives on why they joined an accelerator and what they got out of it. So I'd love to introduce Julie.
Hi, I'm Julie, owner of JMP Interiors, and I was part of the 2020 cohort just before the pandemic.
My name is Jermaine Brown. I'm the founder and president of Stock Jitter Inc., and I was in the 2019 cohort.
Hi, my name is Erica Beckford. I am CEO of Holt Virtual Assistants and MC Samuel Logistics, and I was in the 2021 cohort.
And as always, we have our entrepreneur in residence, Bob Manis here. I'll kick it off with the first question. I'll kick it off to Erica, since you were a former winner of our startup showcase. How did you know you were ready for an accelerator? Like, what questions did you ask yourself? What stage was your business at when you're like, I need help?
Right, yeah. So the accelerator actually came at a really good time, at a time when I was transitioning my business. So when I got the email for it, I was super excited because, in entrepreneurship during those transitional times, you can kind of get stuck and you need a little bit of, support. So it actually came at the perfect time. So I applied and I got in, and the rest is history.
Jermaine?
Yeah. When I started my business, I think I was going roughly a year and a half into it, and everything was happening, right? So I was pretty much confused at that time because I had customers, I had a beta platform ready, I had all those pieces, but it's like, okay, well, what's happening? What's not working? How do I go from here? And then I applied for the cohort. I got in, made a major pivot in my business. So that was like the right time to come in there, because now I was able to take all the pieces that I have and then use the advice to actually take it to the next step. So that's why it was a critical thing for me to do.
For me, it was a little bit different because I had been speaking to, and I'm good friends with someone who has been through the IgniteU program prior. And we would meet for coffee, things like that. But at one point, as you both know, that I was doing everything by myself. I was designing, meeting with the clients, all the paperwork, all the invoicing, and she and I were discussing the IgniteU cohort. And she said, well, you should look into it. I think they're going to be running another one. And she sent me the link for it. And I came in, and at the time, well, you both know you set in, but I waddled my pregnant self in. Here I am.
Awesome. And that kind of gets a little bit into my next question is, you guys were with other entrepreneurs, other business owners. So you saw people who really took advantage of the program and did well, and some who didn't do so well. So what would you say, you guys were in it 6 to 8 weeks, what are some skill sets an entrepreneur needs to have, a business owner needs to have success in a 6 week accelerator program?
Who's going to answer that?
Well, Jermaine.
I have one word that I've developed since being in a cohort, because that's really what my business took off. It started making progress, and it's resilience. You literally have to be resilient because you're going to make a lot of mistakes. You have to be open to listen to people who've had the experience or been there before, and IgniteU had that. So mine was a long process because I had to go back and spend longer nights compared to everybody else, because now I'm redeveloping my business to fit the actual target market that the business is actually targeting, who really wants to use the product I was building. So yeah, that's for me, resilience. Yeah.
Erica?
Yeah, so for me, I would say be open to constructive criticism. In the cohort, one of the best things was we got to explain our businesses to everyone else in the cohort. So if it didn't make sense to them, right, that means it's not going to make sense to your customer. So it was, great to hear all of the business and be able to give feedback and also to receive feedback. So that was very important.
I think for me, it would certainly be to listen. Yes, you need to describe your business. You need to describe what you're doing and why you're here, but then shut up.
Mm-hmm.
You need to get that feedback. And if you if you had your questions answered, you wouldn't be sitting in the cohort. So stop talking, listen to what the constructive criticism is coming back at you, but also listen to the mentors, listen to the programs they're outlining. I mean, every time we came in here, we were in a shorter cohort. We did not have 8 weeks. We had a very condensed cohort, the one I was a part of. And you really needed to come in here with brass tacks, be ready to learn and be ready to work. And it was much more about absorbing than it was speaking. So that was a big one for me.
Resilience, coachability. Bob, anything to add?
Well, I think they're reflective of it. They were open to different ways of looking at their business, right? If you're so locked that you know all the answers, you might as well not apply.
Yeah.
Right.
And you guys had other businesses that were in your same cohort as you guys. Some of them had teams, it was team members, and some were solo. I believe all of you guys were solo.
I was solo.
Solo
Yeah.
companies, right? So would you feel you would have had a better experience or would have had a better takeaways from the program if you came in with maybe some co-founders, some team members?
No.
No? Why is that?
My business, and it's just my perspective, he's going to argue with me because that's what he does, but I'm an interior designer. So my job is to meet with the client, hear what their problems are or solve a problem with a space planning issue. And then my job as an educated interior designer is to go and design that plan. A team member that could be helpful, which Bob was trying to encourage me to bring on board, would be more of an admin role to help with all the time wasters for me that I've realized from the cohort. That was a really big eye opener. But as far as I have my approach for how I design, and that's why my clients come to me. So for the technical aspect, it wouldn't be a partner or team member designer. It would have been more of what are all those other time wasters. Like what's that one, the exercise we had where you had to list out everything you do in your day? And
Time
do
blocking.
you remember the email I sent you? I literally went from A to Z. And I listed everything, and Bob started laughing. He's like, yeah, we're not even going to talk about what you did because that's just wrong. And you were right. You were absolutely right, because it was a huge time waster. So that would be it, but not a partner like another designer. It'd be who are the other team members that can help me be better at what I do.
Yeah, but the definition of a team doesn't always mean a partner. It just
Exactly.
means how to hire staff, right?
Right. And that was
And can you say
something-
that I was right again? Because I've never heard that from you.
I can take my size 10.
Yeah. For me, well, technically I was physically here alone. But my business partner, I related everything to him because he's the one who's got to implement it, right? But being here as the majority owner of the business and startup and actually know exactly what I want the business to be in the future, I think it did help to be here present and be open to making the changes that I made. But I mean, I see team members here, companies here with other team members, and they seem to be doing well. I can't tell now where they are, but for me personally, being able to make majority of the changes with the majority of the interest for my business to be successful really helped from a solo standpoint.
Yeah, I came in as a solo entrepreneur as well. There were a couple of teams in my cohort. I think, whether you have a team or not, it just kind of depends on you. I think both singles and teammates, partners were successful in the cohort and they all got a lot out of it. You know what your strengths are in entrepreneurship. And if you need someone else to kind of complement you or, kind of fill in those gaps, why not partner up with someone? A team is great, but as long as you're focused on what it is that you need to do for your business, either or, you could be successful with this cohort.
But a team could be many things, right? Like it doesn't need to be someone that works right alongside of you. I mean, the
Right.
Ignite family is a team,
Right.
so we can reach out to any one of you to say, hey, do you have a contact in here, or I need this networking, or I'm missing this component. And,
Right.
and that's kind of what being part of the IgniteU family is about.
Yeah.
But it was also part of the cohort was opening up your eyes to those other holes in your business. Because again, if we didn't need it, we wouldn't even have been accepted.
And
Yeah, and I think that what the program offers is the program offers um, immediate beneficial um, education for your business. Meaning that what you learn here every single day, you get to take that and actually turn it into making money for your business, right? Because that's the whole goal. So have the people that you have participating from your company or representing your company. I think, in my opinion, needs to be people who are decision makers, because then you're able to maximize on that benefit.
I was just going to add one thing because Julie brought it up before, her way. And part of the beauty of building process and accelerator is to make sure that all your vendors and any staff and even part-timers kind of follow your path, because you'll never scale with your uniqueness unless you know that system.
Yeah.
So your team is very broad, or could be.
Yeah, so each of your guys' programs was 6 to 8 weeks. What was the biggest takeaway, the biggest thing you learned that you were able to apply to your businesses that turned into more successful processes, more sales, more revenue? If there's any particular thing that stood out? I know there's a lot of information thrown your way between Bob and I for 6 to 8 weeks, but anything that really stood out, biggest takeaways?
For me, it was, just not to limit yourself, right? So your business is constantly changing, and that's okay. You may, you may start out in the cohort with one idea, thinking, this idea is going to work, but then that might change over time. So, just don't limit yourself, and that was a huge takeaway.
For me, one of the biggest thing was communication. Communication with your employees, your team members, and communication with your customers. There's a whole strategy that you guys went through, teaching us how to. I think you guys gave us actual customers and actual potential sponsorships that we needed, and then how to communicate with those people. And these weren't test subjects; these are actual potential leads. So for me, that was huge because it taught me how to speak in a decisive way, communicate clearly, and how to just win.
For me, I think it was my approach to how I attain clients, and then the billable nature to my business. So because I am tied to time, it's, do I run the angle of the hourly rate? Do I put packages together? How do I identify who my target clients are? And is that the best approach for my business and where I want to grow? So yeah, Julie, you were thinking over here, this is what you want to do, but based on your pitch deck, this isn't who you should be spending your time with. It's over here, and now we're going to show you how to create branding and marketing for that specific target. And that was really important because I got into interior design because I went to school for it, and I just started doing it. I never created a business plan. So this kind of helped me get really organized and hone in on who I should be working with.
Well, the goal of this conversation, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, is to encourage or educate entrepreneurs and business owners who may be looking to have extra help, who may be trying to join an accelerator, such as our summer accelerator, right? We're currently accepting applications for our 2022 summer accelerator. So if there's any, last words for the conversation is, what was your, how was your IgniteU experience? How was how was those accelerators for you guys? And if, anyone's out there, what would you say to them?
I would say it is exactly what you need, right? You never know until you're halfway into the program, like, okay, what am I doing here? How is this benefiting my business? And I think that's why that time frame is like an ideal amount of time, because it gets you to be warmed up to what the program is about. And then by the time you reach halfway, you're starting to figure out, okay, well, my business could be doing better based on what's being said here, or I need to make a decisive decision and determine what I want out of the program. And by the time you get halfway through that program, you start to, I don't know, for me, I started doubling up, right? I started muscling up and like, this actually works. So I think it's a great experience, as long as for anyone who really wants to take their business from a fad into something actual. that they want to see longevity with.
Yeah, it's an accelerator. So it's actually, you're in there in the nitty gritty of things. You're getting, constructive criticism. They're going to teach you how to make your business better. They're going to give you the connections that you need in order to, bring your business to the next level. So if you're ready to turn it up, then, you have to apply.
It's legit. I mean, when you sit down after you were first interviewed and it was your first night, you were accepted, there were people that dropped out because you need to put up or shut up. You want to come here, you want to build your business. This is for real. This is the real deal. And we're going to give you real life situation. We are going to give you real life criticism. We're not just going to blow sunshine. But it's professional. It's made to develop you. So if whether you are brand new and you have a startup, or like my cohort, most of us had been in business a year to 2 years. That was kind of a goal for our cohort. But you won't know until you try. And if you think you know what your business needs, you're not going to know until you enter this program and go through it.
And I mean, the coordinators of the program, Bob, Sam, everybody else, it was fun. I love the free food as well.
You were virtual. I didn't get free food.
Oh, now we get to make a request like what we want and stuff like that. It's fun. It was fun.
So mine was shorter and I didn't get free food.
No, because some of us were, because they understand what it means to be a startup and run a business. That's what I got from IgniteU. So they know I was coming from my day job at 3:30 in the evening, and I'm leaving from there, and I'm coming straight here. Food was here, drinks was here. Whatever you need, it was fun, but you got to get down to work.
Yeah,
you guys have to get down to work too. So
they held us accountable, right?
Precisely.
For our assignments, we had to make sure our assignments was done. It was done correctly, and it was a great. You guys were awesome, and you felt like a family. You felt like a team,
right? And
you felt like someone genuinely had your back in your business, and they genuinely wanted you to succeed. So
I think it's another great angle that I don't know if enough alumni take advantage of, but this building is available.
Right.
Whether you need a podcast, you need help with marketing, you need help with branding. I mean, they have the connections and the resources to get you going with what you need in those spherical angles of your business that you might not even be focused on during your cohort. So that's important.
They didn't get my key fob until like a year later. That's when it was finished. Right?
We'll edit that one out.
That's not getting it out. Okay. Well,
so we do appreciate you guys being here. We appreciate your time and your sharing your perspectives with the audience. Always a part of the IgniteU family, as you guys know. Bob, anything you want to close out with?
No, they said it much better than we could say. So great job.
We appreciate you guys watching today. We are accepting applications still until May 25th for our 2022 Summer Accelerator. So we hope you applied. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out and follow us on all social media.